All right, let's talk determining importance. Determining importance is the idea that as you're reading, you get thousands of pieces of information thrown at you in the course of one book. And you don't remember all of them. The ones you tend to remember are the ones that are really important for the story, or they're the ones that you find to be interesting personally. Those are the things we tend to remember. One other type of information that's really important to look at is details that seem unnecessary. Details that seem like they don't really need to be there. And if you see a detail in a story that seems like it doesn't really need to be there, there's kind of two things that could be happening there. One is the writer could be not a good writer. Good writers don't add details that don't mean anything or don't belong. But sometimes bad writers write books and those books get sold. So I can't guarantee you'll never come across a detail that truly just is dumb. It doesn't belong there. The other thing, though, is that a lot of times those details that we might overlook the first time when we read the first time through, we might start to pick up on if we read it over again. Or things that jump out to us like, that's weird. Why did they tell me that? Like, why that little detail? If we really think about it, there might be more to it. It might be trying to tell us something about the story. And we can kind of make meaning out of that and figure out, what is this detail trying to tell me? So just to review on the rubric, apologies in advance for those of you who are sick of this. You need to include a summary I can understand in the content of text portion. What that means is a summary that even though I will not have read your book, that I can read and understand what's going on in your text. The other thing you need to include is at least one piece of direct text evidence or a quotation in your strategy explanation section, and then an explanation of what you did for that strategy, as well as how did that strategy help you understand the text better. So to start, let's read the summary. The summary is, in a short story, Max at sea, a young boy, Max, runs away from home and finds a boat next to the shore of a bay near his house. He decides to get on the boat and try to sail to his father's house in the city. The text isn't clear about how long he sails for, but based on the description of various weather conditions, we as readers are supposed to assume it takes a long time. So remember this summary, the only stuff I'm summarizing is the stuff that's going to lead me to that strategy explanation. Here's what I did for that strategy. When Max is sailing on the boat, it describes how he loosened a nail on the boat's bench and removed it. He carved his name as big as he could so that any fish or whales or passing ships would know who commanded this vessel. Max, it said. Okay, so here's the detail that I locked into. Of all the details and descriptions in the text, this one stood out because it seemed like a totally unnecessary detail to include. However, I think it's an important. This detail was used to give the readers a hint that Max's voyage in a boat wasn't real. Because think about this, what kid out there can carve their name on a boat with just a nail in a way that would be big enough for anyone to read from another boat or even from more than a few feet away? Like imagine a third grader alone on a boat in a wolf suit in the middle of the ocean who then finds a nail and then leans over the edge of the boat and starts carving their name into it. This didn't happen. This is not reality. So how did this help me understand the text? This helped me understand the text because now I realize that everything that happened after that, including Max going to the island of the wild things, was just a product of his imagination. The whole point of the story is it's just Max's imagination. If we read the kid's story, it's a lot more clear, like in the picture book, that Max just like fell asleep and dreamed it. In the grown-up version that you guys read in class, the Max at Sea, it's not super clear. The author makes you look a little harder to make some bigger inferences that this isn't real. This didn't actually happen. It's just Max's imagination. So that's how you do determining importance.